Hey Lou, what does opt-tap mean?
I have no idea.
Let me educate you. Totally annoying people on public transport. Welcome to the show. So today we talk about annoying people on public transport. And we could talk about annoying people in all sorts of different situations, but today we'll just focus on, public transport, buses, planes, trains. All right.
Interesting.
So, when I board a bus or a train, I like it when they're not that busy.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously.
one of the best things actually, when you go on a train and you find the whole carriage empty. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I mean, it's like, you feel like, hey, I'm a king. I hired this entire place. It's my carriage. This is my train. You get ready for that journey, settling your throne, and then just before you go, you can already see that guy racing down the platform. He's going for that door. They're coming in. You actually no. You pray to the Lord. You say, oh please, just shut the door, please. But obviously, they're going to make it. Okay, so they're inside. And the whole say it again.
You're no more king.
Yeah, I'm not a king, absolutely. Yeah, so they're standing there. This entire carriage is empty. Yeah, remember that. And what they're gonna do? They can sit wherever they want, but what are they gonna do? Come on, you tell me.
Sit next to you.
That's right. I mean, how many times did that happen to me? And it happens to you as well. I know that. They come next to you, they sit either next to you, which is annoying, they sit behind you, breathing down your neck, which is annoying, or they sit in front of you, and you're exposed to their greasy head and their dandruff. I mean, sometimes, I'm actually thinking, when they get on board, I'm actually doing, what I'm doing very often, actually, I'm pretending to be sick, like unwell, I'm starting to cough and sneeze, and, because I'm kind of thinking, who would like to sit next to a really sick person? They wouldn't do it unless they're crazy, obviously. But I do this sometimes. And you know what actually happens? And it really backfires because you attract attention. And then they're going to establish eye contact, and then they're actually coming towards you. And don't forget, they just raced down the platform. They jumped on the train, and then they come towards you, stomping and wheezing, and then they sit next to you all the time.
Why?
I know. Okay, so if you're like me and you would like to have a bit of privacy, a little bit of personal space. Often I don't quite get it on people. I can kind of understand. I think one of the reasons that I always think of when it comes to situations like this, where somebody sits next to you, although there is so much space, or like I said, the entire carriage is empty. It's crowd behavior. People love to mingle. People like to be close to other people. And it's evolutionary, it makes sense, but it's safe, obviously, but seriously, it's not unsafe on a train in the middle of the day in a safe city. Don't sit next to me. Do you want to sit on my lap? Are we dating? I really find that freaking annoying. What I often do is I storm off in a strop, trying to really convey to that person, hey, I don't like to sit that close. Okay. I know this makes me sound like a grumpy old man. I'm actually not old, but grumpy maybe. But it's just annoying. Okay, so, but it's not enough. They're not just sitting there. Minding their own business. They do other things. It's quite common. What happens to you when somebody sits next to you on a train that annoys you? What can you think of?
Obviously, if they start coughing, sneezing.
Oh, that's good. Especially when they sit behind you. Yeah. Coughing and sneezing. Yeah. And you feel like, oh my God. Again, the whole place is empty, but they have to cough and sneeze directly.
And you will get.
And you will get it. Exactly. They're gonna make you sick. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's why, like in Japan, the way you do it, you're wearing masks when you're on public transport. I think that makes so much sense. Although I know.
Not always. Not everybody.
Really? Yeah, but it's quite popular. Well, if you do this in Europe, if you do this in Germany or in England, we both know these places. You look like a mental person. You look so weird when you actually wear a mask on public transport. You really stand out. Absolutely. But like you said, exactly. So they start sneezing or coughing. The other thing that I love when people are doing, especially when they're exactly next to you, they make a telephone conversation, on the phone, on their mobile, on their cell, and they're screaming down that phone. I mean, everybody can hear them, even if there are other people also on board. You know, they just scream down the phone, and I'm thinking, you don't need a phone, mate, do you? Everybody can hear you. You don't need a phone. That's the next thing. Or what else are they going to do? Or they start eating, you know, like really, really smelly food. And they're just making such a mess, you know. Oh, it's just annoying. I know. It's come on. Oh. So what, I mean, what I do is, you know, when they come on and I pretend to be sick, which I think I shouldn't do because it really does attract attention. So if you were in my shoes, what would you do? You kind of like, you feel like, hey, this is my space now. I don't want anybody to come close. So that person just came on board. What would you do?
I don't really do anything.
Maybe you should just not do anything, you know, because you know, if you just mind your own business, you know, just sit there quietly. Maybe they don't even recognize that there is somebody there, you know, and then just sit down. So I think in the future I will not pretend to be sick, coughing and sneezing.
No.
Yeah. But anyway. I'm just thinking about another situation. Okay, so we talked about a little bit buses, you know, and trains. The other one, that's on the plane. You know, I mean, I used to travel. You know, I used to commute on a plane. You know, I was part of the jet set. Hello, excuse me. Yes, I've been there, done that. In the not so distant past, I kind of had enough of that now, though. But the typical thing, and this happens. This is almost like a rule. It happens all the time, at least in Europe. This happens when you're on the plane. And when you are actually arriving at the destination, you know, so, you know, you've just landed, you know, the pilot is actually telling people, please, you know, remain seated, you know, until we have come to a complete standstill. I mean, you know this, you know, I've heard of it a million times. But you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen as soon as that plane comes to a standstill? What happens? What happens usually?
People start getting up.
Exactly. It's almost like
they want everybody to be the fast one to get off the airplane.
Absolutely, it's like a race. You know, suddenly it's like they've got ants in their pants. It doesn't really matter how long that flight was. You know, if it's like an hour or if it's whatever. Everybody gets up. It's like a mass hysteria. It's like mass panic. They have to stand in the aisle. You know, and they have to get immediately to the overhead locker and open them. You know, I mean, so many times actually things fell out and fell on my head.
Yeah.
It's so good. Well. And I'm really wondering, okay, now Lou, please, you know, help me understand this, you know. Once you open these doors, you know, of the plane, I know it's, you know, usually you have a rear door and a front door. They get off, but you can't just run away and go wherever you like. You know that when you're on a plane, you get to an airport, you're going to go through passport control. Okay, they're going to check your passport, and there is going to be a queue. Yeah, and you're not the only plane that just landed. There's planes all the time, okay? So way before you land, there's already a queue. So you're going to be in a queue, okay? That's the first queue, by the way. And then there's obviously baggage reclaim, waiting for your bag if you have one, you know? And again, it's something to wait. How desperate are people to get off that plane? I really don't understand. And you're just standing there, you know? And it's uncomfortable because it's just, and especially when you're unlucky, because sometimes I like to sit by the aisle and then you have somebody by the window who can't wait to get out and push past you. And you kind of feel like, okay, where do I need to go now? I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant, but it's just, and again, I'm trying to make sense. So why do you think this is so important? Why do people have to stand in the aisle, you know? And they're still waiting until the doors are open, you know? What is it? I mean, the only thing that I can understand is if they desperately have to go to the toilet, you know. I mean, you know, to be fair enough, some people have weak bladders, you know. So if you were, but then I'm thinking, why didn't you just go half an hour earlier? You know, I mean, of course, I mean, if you're sick, if you have diarrhea, if you're going to be sick and you're gonna throw up, you know, on the just outside the plane, I can understand. But that doesn't happen, does it? I mean, seriously, I think it's really a couple of people start and then everybody gets hysterical. I don't actually know. It might just be this. It's almost like people are conditioned to do that.
Competition.
Why the competition? Yeah, to be the first. Hey, I'm the first one out the door. Whoa! Why? Yeah. Okay. So if people are sick, if people weak bladder, I mean, I'm thinking as well.
There's no reason.
Well, there must be some reasons, you know, why this is so important to get off. You know, I mean, apart from the toilet, I'm thinking, okay. Well, you might have an advantage of maybe a couple of minutes, you know, if you're desperately, I mean, maybe you have some kind of business meeting or you have a job interview. But again, don't forget, you're gonna wait in that line anyway. And what does 5 or 10 minutes make? Seriously, because I think that's really the time that we're talking about. So I'm still trying to make sense, you know, but I don't quite get it. Weird, really weird. Can you think of any other public transport-related issues that really, you know, when people do that, it really gets to you? I mean, the other thing that I'm thinking at the moment is, you know, even, you know, like, especially in the beginning when you actually board the plane, so like people have all the time in the world. You know, they're standing there blocking everybody, you know, there's a huge queue inside the plane. And they forgot their iPod from the suitcase, so they have to remove that, and then they forgot the book, and then they forgot that snack, and they just stand, and they have no awareness, that there is 200, 300 other people who are trying to get to their seats, you know. I mean, this happens a lot as well. I really don't get it, you know. I mean, I can't really think, you know, well, they're just in their own world. They're only in their own world, you know, and then thinking, you know, whatever. But I find that just inconsiderate, you know. So yes, I'm being stroppy, I'm being grumpy, you know, but I think these things have to be said.
So you are nagging.
I am nagging today, absolutely.
Oh, that is fine.
Yeah, good. So I'm just wondering, you know, any of our listeners, you know, do you have any similar experiences? You know, what really grinds your gears when it comes to people on public transport? What are the things that really, really make you lose it with your fellow human beings? We would love to know. All right. Lou, it's getting a bit chilly now, isn't it?
No.
I think it's time to wrap up. Time to wrap up this episode?
Ooh,
no, yes. Okay. Well, thanks again for listening. Thanks for allowing us to invade yours and tickle your brains.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it's goodbye from me. And it's goodbye from her.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Until next time. See you.